Welcome to another episode of SpeakUp, LightUp. If you are an entrepreneur, oncepreneur, or a person who wants to build life based on your own terms and conditions, you are investing your time right. As today we have an amazing guest whose life itself is a proof of miracles. If you believe that you are in charge of your own reality, this episode is especially for you, as our topic for today is how to build life you truly deserve and proud to live. Our special guest is amazing, gorgeous, and humble Queen Sandi Saksena. Are you excited? Let's go. Before we dive into our conversation, shout out to our partner in creating this episode, Mood Shift. Mood Shift is creating a healing music using theta waves. Whether you want to improve your sleep or general physical condition, release stress or manifest wealth, integrate Mood Shift music in your daily life. You can listen to this music while relaxing or even sleeping using headphones, or you can integrate it in your daily meditation. Try it and feel the changes. Mood Shift, better mood, better life. Let's welcome our amazing guest in our studio, who is a Queen Femtor, Facilitator, Negotiator, personal finance influencer. She is also multiple international awardee for women empowerment, leadership, and entrepreneurship. She's also a president of Ladies in Business magazine. Welcome, Queen Sandi. It's such an honor to have you here today with us, sharing your wealth of wisdom.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
So, our topic today is actually how to build up life that you truly deserve and proud of. And the first part of this conversation, I would like to lead to the point that I think it's very important when you want to achieve a specific goal or build a life that you really truly want to have. It's important to know what you want, exactly what you want. And I think a lot of people are struggling with this very first step. I see a lot of people who are searching, trying to figure out who they are, what they are. I also see that many women, in a way, they fell down in somebody else's plan, so to say, and they never able to fulfill their real dream. So what would be your advice to such people, and how to reconnect with yourself and stay connected?
All right. So the first thing that I'd like to say is that we are all in some way victims of social conditioning. And social conditioning starts when we are small children, right? So it starts with what our parents say, it starts with what teachers say, it starts with what we were taught in school. If we belong to a particular religion, we get to hear that. So by the time we are like people in our teens where we'd like to do certain things the way we would like to, it's too late because we're constantly being told what to do.
Yeah.
So even when it comes to, for example, choosing subjects when you're going to university, how many times do we actually choose what we want? We're always being given guidance. We're always being given advice because it is under a sort of a statement which is not really made, but we all believe in that we are not capable of making the right choice for ourselves because we are immature. There are dozens of reasons. And so a lot of us end up doing something that we don't really enjoy.
Yeah.
And when we move forward in life and we are with a life partner, for example, again, it's like so much expectation from us. What is expected of us? What do we have to do to conform? What do we have to do to be accepted? So at every stage in our life, we are being told by society, by the media, by everything around us, what is expected of us. So we are put in, first we were in such a big box, then we are boxed and boxed and boxed, and now we're here. And now we are suffocated and we don't know what to do. We're confused, we are depressed, and we are feeling unfulfilled, right? So how are we going to get out of that? Are there going to be stages? My answer is no. There's no stage. You just get out. And if you start considering everybody's feelings, you won't move an inch. So, yes, you may offend people, you may hurt some people, but in the end of the day, are you going to be happy? Are you going to be fulfilled? Are you going to do something that you really wanted to do? And is that going to make you happy? Because at the end of the day, why are we on this earth? To be happy, fulfilled individuals. So and that doesn't mean we have to hurt anybody else, but we have to be very clear and very firm that this is how far I will go, and then I will follow my own path.
I absolutely.
Sounds easy?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, women, let's speak about women. Our listeners, most of them are women entrepreneurs. I think having this guilt and any kind of, as you said, conditioning that limits us from experience a true joy and happiness. But I think it's choice. It's make up your mind that you are, as you said, were born to be happy.
Yes. So unless you love yourself, unless you respect yourself, you're not going to be able to do it. So it's all an inside job. It's that awakening about yourself. And sometimes some of us need a little help, and that's why we're having this conversation, right? Some of us are self-starters. So it all depends on your nature. But my true advice to everybody listening, reach out. There are lots of people like this podcast going on, this video going on, and others around you who can really be a good support system.
Yeah. Well, you said self-love, respect. It's also connected to self-belief. That is the major ingredient when it comes to success or living a fulfilled life. I was listening to one of your interviews where you shared a lot of inspiring stories. And you also mentioned that you always been in the center of attention. You enjoyed experiencing this glory in a way. So is it like your natural gift, this inner self-belief, or how did you build this up and still you keep it? And, over the years, it's one of these pillars that supports you in no matter what you are doing.
Okay, so as I said, it all stems from your childhood because that's when our personalities are formed. So in my case, I was the only grandchild for a very long time till my sister came along. And so I had a very special place in the hearts of my grandmother, my mother, the aunts, uncles, everyone. And so when my sister came along, there's quite a bit of a gap. So that position didn't change. So she was loved as she was, but my position never changed as being, the center of attraction. And that's what I grew up with. And so I had this belief in myself because, as I said, it was there from the time I was born that I'm special. I'm the center of attraction. I'm capable of doing anything that I would like to do. And everybody's going to support me. So that was my belief system. So not many people don't have that belief system, right? And so they need to work on it. And we need to encourage people to look into themselves and tune into their internal GPS, right? And for example, I could be a person, I'm very flamboyant, as you can see, I'm wearing bright colors, I enjoy putting my makeup and all of that, red nail polish, no matter what's in style, this is my style. So not everybody's of that nature. Some people are more reserved, some people are quieter, whatever. So the most important thing is don't try and emulate someone else because you can only be a better you, right? And your competition is when you look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror and you see yourself, that's your competition, nobody else. So don't try and be like anybody else, don't imitate. Yes, be inspired. but don't copy.
Mm.
Be inspired, because each one of us is an amazing individual. And when we discover that for ourselves and start believing and loving and respecting ourselves, a lot of stuff just happens automatically.
Mm. Well, this is a beautiful ability to see beauty in in other people, and I think it starts from seeing this beauty, this light inside of yourself.
Yes.
And like coming from the self-confidence and self-belief, as an athlete, we say that you don't lose until you continue showing up. And
Yes.
entrepreneurship is such a roller coaster journey. Sometimes it's not for everybody. Like success comes, immediately. Sometimes it
Correct.
takes months, sometimes it takes years. Sometimes we make mistakes and experience failures. What matters is it's your ability to stand up, dust off, and move forward. So
Yes.
you shared the story that once you had you lost almost everything, and at the age of 44, I believe, you had to build everything up from scratch.
Right.
What really helped you to rebuild your self-confidence and continue showing up for yourself, for your family, to eventually get what you really want despite of hardships and challenges, and achieve, living completely different life nowadays?
Yes. So as I mentioned before, when we arrived in Dubai, things just fell apart, and it was extremely difficult to accept that the lifestyle and whatever we had enjoyed for so many years was gone. And it was very heartbreaking to try and explain to the children, because they're young, right? And they couldn't understand why they could have this, why they couldn't have that, and what were these restrictions about. And also, it was trying to manage everybody's emotions, everybody's expectations, and keep a calm outer self when you're sort of just breaking up inside. And that's when you realize how resilient you truly are. It's only in a crisis that you realize your strength. And that's exactly what happened. So, from a very sheltered, very luxurious lifestyle, to be faced with the fact that I need to get a job, and 44 years old, no experience, no, can't write a CV, no abilities, office abilities, no computer skills, nothing. So here I was in dire need of a job, and not people were not very nice. They were not very polite. But then you have to just take it. So here's the lesson. If you are going to listen to all the negative stuff, and there's going to be plenty of it, and unfortunately, we sort of gravitate towards the negative stuff and take it to heart. And when there's somebody else trying to support you, prop you up, encourage you, we sort of push that aside and focus only on the negative. So that was my lesson. I learned in a very short time that I was going to ignore every negative thing that I heard. I was just going to just let it pass. It was not going to deter me from my path, because I was very clear in what I wanted. And I didn't want millions of dirhams or dollars. I wanted money to pay bills. That's it. No goal. That was it. Pay bills. Right? And so I went about with that wonderful feeling inside myself. So when I showed up at any place, it was not with fear. It was not with, oh my God, am I going to hear this again? No, it was, here I am. I'm capable of doing anything. I know I'm an intelligent, educated person. And if you give me the opportunity, I will prove it to you. So belief in myself, and very important is intent. What was my intention? It never changed. And at that stage, it was get a job, pay bills. That's it. Nothing was going to take me away from that. So the other thing that I do is I do pray. I'm not religious, so I pray to the universe. But irrespective of whom you pray to, you have to be very clear in what you're asking for. You can't say this one day and say that the other day. So very clear in your intent. My intent was very clear. Open one door for me and I will walk through. Not which kind of door, why did you close the door, when will the door open? No. Open one door for me. So very simple, very straightforward. And when the door opened, I walked through. And here I am today. So, is it possible for everybody to do this? The answer is yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's very simple. It's very straightforward. There's no complication at all. There's no need for going to experts for counseling at all. It's all about you. And what do you want to do?
Yeah, it's all
it's
about...
like the sports person, right? The sports person. At the end of the day, no matter whoever says what, you have to make the decision. You have to put in the effort. You have to have the focus, not anybody else, right?
Yeah. It's a lot about energy as well.
Yes.
You have this radiant, you just feel, I mean, I know it's weird. Maybe people also who are watching, not just listening as a podcast, but also watching this episode on our YouTube. It will be available in 2 weeks. So I will leave the link in the description box, because you don't really see how amazing our guest looks like. You are full of energy. You are exercising, you're running businesses, you're inspiring people. You have just became a president of prestigious magazine. And I know people, like a lot of women don't like to talk about age, but you are 70, right?
Exactly. And I'm celebrating the whole year.
It's just all about, it says that age is just all about your mind.
Yes.
You define your own age. So what keeps you so, how to say, energetic, I don't know, full of life, excited in everything what you are doing, experiencing, projecting?
Okay, so the most important thing is I love me. That's it. It all starts with yourself.
That's amazing advice, the best.
I love me. So I want to be in very good health, because I don't want to be dependent on other people. I don't want to be dependent on medication. I don't want to be, what should I say, a burden on anyone. So here's it. We're born with this one body. Right? You have this fantastic body. I have this fantastic body. And everybody listening or watching has an amazing body. It's a true masterpiece of creation of the creator, right? But you must also remember one thing. We are so perfect. We don't come with spare parts. We're all originals. So you have to look after yourself in order for your body to function and work for you. It is a two-way street. So unless you do the right things for yourself, so again, it stems from love and self-respect, right? So if you love yourself, if you respect yourself, you will respect your body because it's part of you, right? So if you don't eat properly, you don't sleep properly, you abuse your body, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to end up ill. You're going to end up on medication. You're going to end up, at the end of the day, depending on other people looking after you. So if you want to be independent, then you must do things for yourself. And so that's what I do. And I feel there are very simple steps that everybody could follow, because I hear this all the time. I'm so stressed out. Okay, big deal. I'm so stressed out. I'm not getting enough sleep. I do emotional eating. Bullshit. Nonsense. Okay? Your body requires sleep. So please sleep. Stop making excuses not to sleep. I'm so stressed. Yeah. Who's causing the stress? You are. You are responsible for your physical state, nobody else. So if you really want to be vibrant, full of energy, good health, you have to look after yourself. It is your responsibility. I'm taking responsibility for myself. I'm making sure I eat well. I'm making sure I sleep well. I'm making sure that when I go to sleep at night, I am not going to let anything stress me out. Nothing. Because that stress is not going to change the situation. Being stressed out is not going to change the situation. You have to take action. And in order to take action, you have to be alert, you have to be energetic, and you have to be focused on what needs to be done. So wringing your hands and saying, oh no, now, and I'll reach for the chocolate and I'll reach for this and I'll reach, that's a cop out. And you know it. So you want to make changes? You want to be vibrant like me at 70? Yeah, I go to the gym. I do physical fitness challenges. I do it because I enjoy it, and I also want to see how far I can take myself. So unlike you, who's been in the sports world and you've done some things because of the competition, for me, my competition is me.
That's beautiful.
When I look in the mirror every morning, I look at this vibrant self with or without makeup, and I say, you know what? I feel great today. And when I feel great, everything around me is just perfect.
I love it. Well, everybody are waiting for this magic pill. Let's take me this pill and I will become slimmer, full of energy, more beautiful, fantastic and successful. But that's not how it works in the real life.
But darling, just one thing before I forget. Please don't be hard on yourself. Being hard on yourself and pushing yourself and putting yourself through pain isn't always the best way.
So how do you keep this balance between, in a way, having these good habits, follow your own belief system, let's say, and at the same time not being hard? Because sometimes you want this cheat days, when you're just like eating chocolates nonstop.
I do it all the time. I have many cheat days. Yeah, but I'm also aware of how much I should cheat. Right? And life is meant to be enjoyed. That doesn't mean you have to become overindulgent. But you can be self-indulgent sometimes. Why not? Right? You can take it off from the dieting and all. I really don't believe in dieting. I believe that if you eat good, nutritious food and don't overeat and eat on time, like have a good schedule, you'll be fine. So sometimes what happens is, I know it's going to be a late night and all, and I like eating dinner early. So I just eat my full dinner. When I go there, I'm very happy. I'm not hungry. I don't get any gas. And when the food comes along, I'll nibble at it, not making the hostess feel bad that I'm not eating. But, there are so many ways of doing that. But I've already taken care of when I should be eating. And that's a simple thing to do. It's not rocket science.
Yeah. Well, avoid tortures, but at the same time, keep yourself on track. Oh, awesome. I have one more question, I think, because this is a very important factor when you on a journey to become who you really want to be, when you're on a journey to create the life that you envisioned for yourself, for your family, is ego. And I also love what you say that just drop E and go for what you want. But from words to action, I know it's a process, but sometimes even I'm asking, like, how did I get out of ego? Because from just protecting me from something, it actually limits me so much on specific levels of life.
Yes. So, as you all said, we all have an ego. That's part of us. But how do we manage it? And at the end of the day, if we just sometimes take a step back and think, do I need to respond or do I need to react? Right? So when we are reacting, we're playing up with the ego because it's a knee-jerk reaction. You said this to me, I said this to you. You said that, I did this, that kind of thing. It's always instantaneous. But when you respond, then you have time to really think. And when you think about it, is it worth responding? Is it something that really matters what somebody else said? Does that change who you are? Does that change other people's? Because we're all the time thinking about what will other people say. So I have to appear to be A, B, C, D. But I'm not that. I don't want to have that appearance. I want to be me. I want to be the authentic me. So when somebody is rude or says something that all your flags go up and say, I need to say something. I'm going to let them have it. I'm going to do this. That's when you just step back and think, is it worth it? If I said something to that person, am I bringing myself down? Or am I really putting myself on that person on the same level? Because actually we're there. But when we react, we bring ourselves down. And we always want to remain here. Yeah. So it's more about responding than reacting. And sometimes silence is golden. Although the first reaction would be to respond or say something or whatever, silence is golden. It's something that we all need to learn. But it gives you dignity, it gives you respect, it gives you so much more. Because sometimes people feel that if they remain silent, they are actually weak. And that's not true. Because silence can be a very powerful tool. And if you use it correctly, you can always come up ahead.
Well, sometimes silence speaks louder.
Exactly. And this also is in our relationships with our loved ones. It could be our spouse, it could be our family members. Sometimes silence is taken as weakness. And a lot of times, that's what we are doing. We are not strong enough to respond. And when we do that, we are actually harming ourselves. So speak when it is required. Speak with actions, because action is louder than words. You don't have to shout, you don't have to scream, you don't have to do anything. But from the way you behave, the actions that you take are going to have a much longer and lasting effect and a positive effect on you.
Yeah, that's brilliantly said. Well, thank you very much for sharing your wisdom and sharing yourself today. And then
I love being here.
And then I always ask my guests to envision themselves as creators, because I do believe that we are all creators of our own universe. As Queen Sandi creator, what would you like to share with people who are listening us, watching us? What does your voice would like to project?
Okay, so my voice would like to project the following. You are as unique as your fingerprint. You are an amazing creation of the universe. So why fit in when you were born to stand out? And remember this, you have to be odd to be number one. That's it from me.
Thank you very much. I think this episode was one of the most inspiring. I hope it also brings some encouragement for so many women who are on their unique way to create beautiful life that you truly deserve and you're proud of.
Absolutely.
If you're resonating,
celebrate.
Absolutely. Let's celebrate.
Totally. Thank you so much, my love, for having me on your show.
If you're resonating with this information, inspiration, and beautiful guests that we have in our every single episode, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share. And we'll see each other in the next episode.